Welcome. We're casual tonight. I just you know what? I the topic that I'm going to speak about, it is going to cause you to think. I think I will be doing a lot of triggering topics this year. But you know what? The heart healer, you take notes. You're going to want to take notes. Um it's not a lesson like typical, so it's not, there's levels of lessons, right? There's a lessons where I'm in class and we have a PowerPoint and it's like, that sort of. And then there are the lives where I'm you know I have like a set order of things I want to discuss, number one, number two, things like that. And I just didn't feel that for this topic. So what I know is that a lot of this I'm going to be receiving, channeling as I'm speaking to you, because I know what I have to talk about, and I know that I could have like really um set it up like in a lesson format, right? And there was so much resistance, like spirit was like, nah, not with this topic. So we're gonna flow. We're gonna flow, and it's gonna be good. Yes, thank you. It's always a lesson. It's always a lesson. So this is going to be powerful. I know. I already knew it. I know it because, again, the first initially I was on going to do it on StreamYard, like, I'm usually at the table, you know, in my white chair, and then spirit was like, "No, this has to be more casual." So I was like, "Okay, I'll sit on my couch, on my sofa, right?" And so then I told you all, I went on live and I said, "I'm coming from the gym. That is my work. I have work to do as well. That's my spiritual work to take care of. And I'll be on at 9." So I got on at 9, right? And I'm like, I see y'all in the chat, and I'm trying to go live, I'm trying to go live, and it's like not letting me in. So that's when I messaged you guys, like, look, I'm here. It's 9 o'clock. I said I would be here 9 o'clock. I'm here. But YouTube is not letting me come in. And so then I had to start another YouTube live. I started that live, and then this thing was like, you cannot be connected. So I was like, stop playing, stop playing. We gonna now I'm even more energized. Now I'm even more energized to be non-filtered about this special message. And then we started at 911. So like, how many more signs? How many more signs do we need, right? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I'm trying to read y'all messages, but it is so tiny. Okay, great. Thank you so much, moderators, for being here, because I need y'all support tonight. I really appreciate you guys for being here. Okay, so there I don't have a title. I don't have a title at all. I was trying to get one, and nothing came up. But what I'm going to talk about is, I'm gonna try not to cover the mic with my hands. I apologize. Don't no. Can you drink your water with tiger's eye? Tiger's eye is considered a soft stone, so you don't want to keep it in water for too long. Okay, only like quartz or like shungite. Okay, so the chat just went away again. Okay, so I had a conversation with someone. Oh no, when did it start? I had a conversation with a student of mine, um, and I've known her for 4 years now. And that conversation started something stirring. And then I went live on Friday on a Zoe app. And my daughter, who's like freaking genius, created these elderberry syrup kits for people to, all you have to do is put the stuff together. We give you everything, just cook it, right? Literally. And so we were talking about it. And then we were talking about children, okay? And that I was saying back in 2019, 2020, I think, early 2020, get the elderberries now while they're affordable and before they start doing the most to them. So I'm not going to go there right now. I don't want to get too off topic. And then she was talking about the Aquarius bundle. And so the Aquarius crystal pouch, excuse me. And so I didn't know it was in the crystal pouch. Yes, I do own Zoe Essentials, but I'm not running it. I have a amazing team that runs the day-to-day operations of it. So I didn't know it was in the crystal pouch. And so she's telling me, and we're talking about the particular crystal appetite, and then like things just start connecting. And so as she's talking about it, I was like, oh shoot. And so it brought up back, while we were live, it brought back that conversation that I had with the student. And so it was something that I was like, I need to talk. And I said it. I said, I'm going to talk about this, but not on the Zoe app live. Actually, I did speak a little bit about it because, that's what I do. But I didn't go too deep into it. And so what day is it today? Tuesday? For the past few days, this has like been in my head. I've been thinking about it and just like just past things. I had a conversation with my daughter about something in alignment with this. And then last night, someone texted me and they asked, last night I went to bed at like 7:30. Spirit was like, go to bed now. I was like, okay. So I was in the bed at 7:30. And then I got up like 10 something. A text message came through and she asked me this it was like a random question. And I was responding, but the thing is, I wasn't fully awake. So I literally was like, I think I was voice noting her. And I was like, I just left. I don't know what I said to her, but I was like, I'm not really here. And I was answering her question. And I said, I have to go back. I have to go back and travel or something. I have to go back to where I was. But so I got up in the morning and I was like, I left all these messages. Like, what the heck? And I saw her question. And I was just like, okay, I need to talk about this. Okay. So let's talk about it. And I apologize. The chat is crazy. I can't see the messages. So let's talk about it. I'm gonna talk about several things, but I'm gonna start with this, and then we'll go to some other things. Children. Let's talk about these babies, these young ones. Let's start with the older ones, because I know some of the older ones are on here tonight and listening to this. If you are a parent or auntie or adoptive parent, or you're young, or you know of one, or you're a teacher or whatever, or you have a little younger brother or sisters, I'm talking about those, what do they be called? Generation Zs and below. This is very important. This is very important, what I'm going to talk about. Why is this important for you? I don't want you saying, well, I'm 40 something, I'm 60 something, it has nothing to do with me. It does. If your soul mission, especially if you're older, there's people that have had soul mission consultations with, and they're like, I'm 63, I'm too old, I'm 70. And it's like, nah, you the one that's supposed to help the young ones. You have the wisdom. Okay. So listen to what I'm saying. A lot of you need to understand that those who you have to help, understand you're doing your work now for those who are going to need your support. And most of them are going to be younger than you. So a lot of these who are like, I want to say teens up to like 27. What's 27? They were born like in 96. This particular group, and I don't know what the exact ages are, but this particular group, listen to me. They know they're old, okay? They came in during some crazy stuff, a crazy transition that was happening. those who are older, we don't realize the transition that was happening, but there was a major shift that was happening, like in the late 90s. And so they came, y'all remember there were like so many wars and stuff. Y'all remember that? The wars on, remember we didn't have, I mean, people had cable, but you can watch on Channel 9 and we were still watching TV. There was no Netflix. Was there? There was no Netflix. No, there was no Netflix. There was like, you may have had a Nokia, a StarTech phone back then, but we was watching wars on TV. Y'all remember that? They were born during the Gulf War. It was like mad wars happening. The Gulf War, the Iraq War, all these wars and stuff. I don't know if y'all remember. I remember like, oh shoot, like it was crazy to see a war on a TV. Like there were cameramen in the Middle East, right? So they were born during these times. They came in during wartime. I need y'all to understand that. There's certain groups of people that came in during certain portals, and it's important that we understand um, the overall energy of them, okay? No freaking soul is up, wherever they're from, like, you know what? I want to come in the world during a war where they're just massacring millions of people. So a lot of them come in and they are in a place where right now they are very clear that, and it's not everyone. I'm not saying all of them. Do you understand? You know who I'm talking about. They are in a place of lostness. They know that this ain't it. The rates, the numbers of the college admissions dropped like significantly because they were like, this ain't it. This can't be it. They don't know what they want to do. They're just like lost. It seems like they're lost. But here's the thing. A lot of them are suffering from anxiety, whether you believe it or not. Okay, let's talk about anxiety. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about some mental, cognitive, the whole spectrum, as much as I can pull up, right? So anxiety, let's understand this. Anxiety is being in one place and there's another place you want to get to, but not having the tools or the wherewithal to get to that place. That causes anxiety. Okay, think about that. Think about that. Okay, there's an anxiety there. So it's very hard for them to exist because they know that they know that they're here for a reason. Like they experience some stuff that they probably won't share with you. Okay, like they have seen some stuff. These kids are gifted and they don't know where to share it, or maybe they do share it with some people. Okay, so the because of these levels of anxiety, what do you do when? So I'm in a place, I need to get to another place that doesn't currently exist. Okay, it's just out there and wherever. And so because I'm feeling this, what do I do as because of trauma, because I'm a human, is I ground myself, not knowing that I'm grounding myself. And so what are some of the ways we ground ourselves? We eat. First thing we do is eat, okay? Or to escape sex. Again, I don't know if there's kids watching, okay? Or drink or drugs, okay? Whatever was happening in the 70s ain't got nothing on what's happening now, because there's levels to this. It's levels to this that you wouldn't believe. And if I can't find a drug, I'm gonna make some shit up. Excuse my language. Okay? And the reason why is because I know that something's different about me. There's something going on, but I don't know how to get to that. I don't know what it is, and I don't know how to get to that place. So I'm here, this place. You see what I'm saying? Like there's a place here, and there's a place here, and a place there, and they're feeling that pressure, that energy in between, and that's what's causing the anxiety. Okay? So I'm not saying they're lost in a bad way. I'm saying they're super powerful and don't understand what to do with it. Okay? This is why I say, listen, let me tell stop playing. Stop playing. Y'all stop playing around. Don't leave it up to other people to do their spiritual work. You have to do what you know what you're here to do. Do it. Start doing it. Start doing it. Don't be like, I can't get on YouTube because I don't have a lot of subscribers. You don't know who's watching you. It could be that one person to watch you. Or I'm afraid to, like, congratulations. Someone sent me Lana sent me a picture yesterday. And she was like, Professor, you were talking about some of us are going to get a building, just go ahead and do it. And she was, I got my building. And she sent me a picture of her building. And I was like, yes, yes. Now continue to do your work, because there's somebody that needs whatever you're doing. They need to go to that place to get it, to get whatever it is that they require. Do you understand? Like, we have to stop playing around with this, because there are those that are dependent on what it is that we are here to do. You as an individual have a specific soul mission. It's very specific. And if you don't do your work, it kind of messes everything up for the whole. Do you understand? I'm not saying everyone can't do their work, but it just works out so much easier when you're on task with or in alignment with what you're supposed to do. Do you understand? So what I'm saying to you is that there's a lot of young ones, stop being that are just like, I don't know. And they are all over, holy cow, all over TikTok with the most lostness, craziness, absurdities of spiritual information. Like, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them, because it's like, when you're like, okay, I keep seeing numbers, so what do? I type in the number, I see number synchronicities. They're not going on Google, they're going on TikTok. Do you understand? And they're typing in 222 on TikTok or whatever. Instagram. Nobody's on Facebook. My daughters make fun of Facebook. They're like, that's for the old people, you know? So they're on like Instagram and TikTok, not even so much on YouTube, typing in 222. And then like, there's people talking about stuff, and it's like, what, you have no idea what you're speaking on, and you're getting more and more people confused. That's why I'm like, you guys who know, stop playing with it. Stop being like, well, I'm shy, or I stutter when I talk. I freaking stutter when I talk. Don't be like, I don't have the best background, or my hair, my makeup. I did a video on Instagram. Spirit was like, it was like 3 something in the morning, 2019. Don't go looking for it. Spirit was like, get up and speak on this now. I had a do-rag on. And I was like, let me take a do-rag off and fix my face. And I heard now. So I'm on Instagram with a whole do-rag, like talking about something. I don't know what I was talking about. Because somebody needed to hear that. Okay? Let me digress. So those of you who have children these ages, do not be stressing them about fitting into the construct, especially when you know better. Talk to them, listen to them. They will tell you. My daughter told me I'll never forget my daughter Makeda. At 14 years old, I will never forget, it was in front of my parents' garage. And my father said, what college do you want to go to? And she has big eyes. If you've seen her like on Instagram, she has these big, beautiful eyes. And her big eyes welled up with tears. And I was just like, what is wrong with you? Why are you crying? And she was like, I don't want to go to college, mommy. And so my father was like, what college you want to go to? And she was like, I don't know. He's like, well, if you don't go to college, you have to go to the military. And she's like crying. And she told me, I pulled her aside later on. She was like, I don't want to go to college. I don't want to go. And I said, are you worried about mommy paying for it? Because don't worry about it. You can go to where I teach. You can go there for free. You don't have to worry about paying for it, And she was like, that's not it. So she didn't go to college. I got some flack because of that. How are you a college professor and your daughter's not going to go to college? I got flack because of that. But I read my daughter's chart. I knew if she was to go to college, this is the only thing she can do. And personally, that's a waste for her to go to college for that. So she said to me, she said, I want to own my own business. She said, if I can have a business, listen, if I can have a business and college costs 50,000 a year, if I can make, no, she said 30,000, if I can make 30,000, 50,000 a year, do I still have to go to college? I was like, heck no. So at 17, she started her first business. Listen, I I had minimal hands in it. My support was, what do you need? Let me connect you to this person. I know this person. Let me get you on a phone call, or I'll pay for this webinar. I'll pay for this class. I shelled out a few $1,000s for her to meet with certain people. She was meeting with people $250 an hour. Okay? Because this is what she was passionate about doing. And she was damn good at it. She was so good, she was featured in Essence magazine not once, but twice. The first time was a full feature about her business. The second time was on like Essence's top 10 products to buy for this Christmas. Her business was on there at 17 years old, okay? Because I allowed her to follow her own promptings. Then that wasn't it anymore. Then she wanted to do something else. And it was like, okay. It wasn't until she's 21 right now. It wasn't until last year she said, Mommy, I know what I want to do. And she told me what it is she wanted to do. And she said, I'm going to start going to school next year. And I said, okay. At 21, where a lot of her friends are graduating from college in debt and looking for jobs. Okay. So had I been like, you're going to go to college, da 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 da. Again, I'm not against college if you're getting a degree for something specific, like to be a doctor or a teacher or a lawyer. But if you go to college to get a degree in marketing or business, you're wasting your money. You're wasting your money because you're learning from a teacher teaching a business class that don't have a business. Don't go to college for stuff that I'm gonna go to college to study history. You get a you get a bachelor's degree, and you got to get a master's because now you have to specialize in something. And then that master's ain't guarantee you a job. Matter of fact, that master's may get you a job making 40 something thousand dollars a year, which is nothing after taxes. You might as well work at Target for $15 an hour. Real talk. So what I'm saying is that I had to step back as a mother because I saw her. Feeling the anxiety in her because she felt like I'm here to do something bigger than what society is telling me I'm here to do. She literally is running a company. She's the operations manager right now of Zoe Essentials. She's the one who has Zoe Essentials has expanded literally because of her. And now she's about to do her own thing where she has contracts. People are paying her in her own branding company. And she's like, and then I'm gonna do something else. But she can do that. Because when I look at her natal chart, I'm like, you can do this business and this business and this business. That's who you are. So what happens? She's doing 50 million things. She works hard, but she doesn't have that anxiety anymore. Do you understand? So what I'm saying to you is that I'm talking with regards to this older generation, this older of the younger, excuse me, check on them. A lot of them have anxiety. They don't realize that it is that. If you took the Soul Mission workshop, or even if you didn't, pull up the natal chart. Do not pay for it. I gave y'all websites. Pull up the natal chart, sit with them, go over it. If you're listening on this live and you've been listening to me for a while, you should already have a natal chart pulled up. If you've taken any of my classes, you should have your natal chart. Don't just be like, oh, they only 18 or 16 or 15. They don't know about this. No. Go over it with them. Talk about it with them. Make sure that what they are doing is in alignment with who they are, because if they're not, they're going to be anxious. Drugs, alcohol, sex. Overeating. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about this, which was the original topic. I don't know where that came from, but that was for whoever that was for these teenagers and up. Okay. They're very powerful. Stop. There's a difference in talking back and being disrespectful, and there's a difference in them expressing themselves. You know the difference. Okay? You know the difference. Don't be so hard on, I'm the mother, I'm the father. There's a difference. There's a difference. If they're expressing themselves, let them express themselves. Why are you triggered? Why are you triggered by it? I have a Gemini daughter, communication. You can listen. You're not gonna talk to me like that. You want to talk? Let's have a conversation later. But right now, it's the most. So you can go outside, clear your head, and then we can have a talk. That's different. Okay. All right. Let's continue. You said that was for you, crown fitted. Awesome. It's okay if you don't know the time you were born. You don't have your houses, but you still have your north, your south node. You still have you have your Chiron. You have the zodiac that your Chiron is in. You still have a lot of information. Okay, so even if you don't know the time of birth just gives you the houses, which is more specifics. But you still have information on there. I've done so many soul mission consultations with people that they don't have their time of birth, and I'm able to pinpoint it down. Now, that's something that I do. I'm gifted at, but trust me, it can be done. Okay. All right. So let's talk about this. Let's say toddler age, and let's say like four and up. So I don't know what generation that is. 4 years old to like 12. They got some smart ass mouths. Okay. A lot of them are your ancestors. A lot of them are your like immediate ancestors, like grandparents, great grandparents, aunts. Like they know you. They are weird to you because you like, how you know that? They are expressing some gifts that is just like, and they are saying stuff. Don't shut it down. Do not shut it down. Dig deeper. Ask them more. They're more tapped in than you. They're more connected than you. Okay? Let them shed some wisdom because they be talking like they be talking like grandparents. My daughter, let me tell you, I came in, I brought the wrong keys with me, so I couldn't get in the house. My daughter said to me, Mommy, you need to be more responsible and make sure you take the right keys when you're leaving the house. I was like, who you talking to? How you tell me to be more responsible? Okay? They will tell you in a minute, that's not right. Dare you talk to them about vibrating high or something? They will tell you, you're not vibrating high, Mommy. You're vibrating low today. Like, they will check you in a minute. Don't be popping them in the mouth. don't be don't be spanking them. Don't be doing that. Don't be punishing them because my daughter was right. I should have been more responsible and took my keys. What can I say? So a lot of them have come in as your ancestors. I'm talking about the ones that are like 5 to 12. Okay? They are old souls. They're like old ladies and old men. Even the way they dress and the way they move, it's like you want them to be cool. And you like, you know, they would check you when you're eating. You really shouldn't be eating that. That's really not good for your arteries. How you know what the artery is? Okay. So understand we're talking about, this is an ancestral group that has come back. All right. All right. Now let's talk about this group that let's talk about this particular group. And these are the ones that were born like 2017 up until now, that are still being born. A lot of them, and I'm not saying everyone, but a lot of them are ancient souls. I'm gonna touch on a few things tonight. A lot of them are ancient souls, like not ancestors, but like really ancient. Okay, and they are highly gifted. Like, I mean, highly gifted, highly gifted, more than what you can imagine. Okay, we're talking about like what you see in the movies type gifted. Okay, and especially for the parents right now, or for teachers or whoever, just for anyone. Again, like the video, share it with those who you believe may need to know this. um, I'll tell you my first experience, and this is with the student that I was saying. In 2019, I was on Instagram, and I think at the time I would bring people on to the Instagram live, right? And so I brought her onto the live, and I don't know if she told me I was pregnant or I said something about a baby. And she was like, she's pregnant. And I was like, it's a girl. And she was like, yeah, how you know? And the little girl was speaking to me. I think I don't know if she told me her name. It was this whole thing. And she said, she told me to tell, it was very emotional because like I didn't want to tell her mother this, but she told me to tell her mother. Number one, she wanted a carnelian crystal. She said, I want a carnelian crystal. So I told her mother, get her a carnelian crystal, find an archive. But she reminded me of this last week. And her daughter, thank you so much for the donation. Her daughter, the baby, excuse me, said to me, I'm not going to speak. I'm not going to speak for a long time. And the doctors are going to say that there's something wrong with my throat. So this is 2019. Y'all, this is when I first was on YouTube. Okay. Okay. I may have had like 50 subscribers. So I was just like, damn, I don't know this person. Like, this is mad uncomfortable, but I had to share this. So I said, your daughter's going to have like something with her throat. No joke. Something with her throat, and she's not going to speak for a while. But she said, it's okay. She said, there's nothing wrong with her. And I don't remember exactly, but she told me that she's very, very powerful. She's just not going to speak. So she has the baby. I think a few months in, she goes to the doctor. She sends me a picture, an image, and there's literally something in the baby's throat. And she said, oh my God, I believed you, but this is wild. So I told her, this is what she said, everything's okay. Like her daughter was, I connected with her daughter in the womb. I still have a real strong connection to her. So I was telling her that, she's not able to speak to her mom because she's like 3 months, So I'm like, she's saying, it's okay, mommy. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm fine. She's 3 years old now. The rate that a 3-year-old should speak, right? But she's very intelligent. And so her mother says, I remember that you told me that this would happen. So she was prepared for it, okay? This little girl, her mother has a tarot deck. And this little girl, she likes playing, like, it's a really beautiful deck with like colors and images on it. And so, or is it cards? I'm not sure, but she sent me videos of her playing with it, and she's talking as she's like flipping the cards and putting them in different piles. Okay. She says she speaks when she wants to speak, but her and her mother have a this understanding of communication, okay? But the child is highly gifted. And one thing that well, that's personal, so but so I gave the mother advice. I'm gonna give this to you all as well. Actually, let me continue. Let me get back on track. So, um, again, all this was coming to me this past week, and this is what I see from spirit. Listen, a lot of if you had babies, um, if you had babies like 2017, what the heck happened in 2017? 2017 was a no, 15 was a 7. Okay. If you had babies, give me a second, y'all. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. 2017, 7 was a 1 year. So if you had babies like around 2017 up until now, I'm telling you this, your as your child is preparing to go to school, as your child's preparing to go to school, there may be some challenges. Now, this is something that I learned just from growing up in New York. There is this anyone that has families from another country, you have two languages, right? Two languages of your language. In Spanish, it's called para defense, which is like I only speak the language in my house, right? So a lot of Spanish speakers would, turn off the lights. Are you hungry? Make up your bed. They spoke that Spanish, but when you go to the academic world or school and you have to speak in Spanish academically, like how do I know how to say octopus or how do I know how to say notebook? I don't say notebook in my house, right? So you only speak to defend yourself, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? So you only speak to have communication with your parents, like to not to defend yourself in a bad way, but like it's called I'll give you an example. I don't have a strong patois language, right, which is West Indian language, but I understand very well when my family is speaking. I know everything that they're saying. I just don't speak it. So I will have family members that may speak to me like that, or friends that will speak patois all day, and I'm responding back to them like this, okay, because that is like two languages in one, okay? For those of you who have multiple languages, you understand what I'm saying, okay? I hope I didn't confuse anybody. Okay, Rose, you say you only speak the basics. Yes, okay. So, right, you only speak the basics. So listen, when your children are at home, there's a level of communication that happens that's like home language. You speak with your parents on basic home stuff or like in defense in a conversation. So these young children are able to, again, 2017 up to now, we're talking about 5 years old and under. They're able to communicate in the household because what are you really saying? You're not in your household saying, okay, little Johnny, I would like you to take out your notebook and turn to page 10 and we're going to start the assignment. What the heck is an assignment, right? That's another language that little Johnny is not familiar with. To you, your child understands perfectly. You're able to communicate. Even if the communication is limited, you understand if they make a sound or if they look a certain way, you just kind of know. You know what I mean? Like parents know when their children have to use the bathroom or they're tired. Like you just know. When they go to school, to me, what's going to happen is that listen to what I'm saying to you. The children are going to be, especially if they're in public school, and especially black boys, especially because black boys is the number one group. And then any brown people, okay? They're not going to see it as gifts. They're going to see it as remedial. And so they're going to recommend that your child be tested and get IEP. Now, let me tell you about this. There's a lot to say. You need to be an advocate for your child. Don't let anybody tell you that your child is cognitive. There's a difference. I was diagnosed with a speech impediment. Okay. I also, my IQ is like genius level. So which one is it? Which one is it? Had I gone to school in the 2000s, I would have had an IEP. But I have a speech impediment because my parents spoke like two different. My father's straight from the West Indies. My mother's from the South in New York, and all my friends, they're like different languages, different accents. Like, how am I supposed to speak? Everyone in the Bronx spoke crazy. Everyone in the Bronx has a freaking speech impediment, if you ask me. But I was diagnosed with a speech impediment. Okay, as the more melanin you have, the thicker your tongue is. We have big tongues. So it causes us to speak a certain way. We cannot pronounce the English language properly because our tongues are too big and English is too heavy of a language. Okay? So it's hard. It's very difficult. These children are like, I'm not with this. These young ones are like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this language. I'm not playing this game. This language is whack. For real. So I know I'm like in several places, but just please follow me. These children are vibrating so high that to speak is bringing down their vibration. Okay, so let's talk some history, like ancient history. When we first started, humans on this planet started we communicated. We didn't communicate with this. This was to eat, was to take in information from fruit, from plants. That's what this was for, okay? Not to speak. How do we know? Because you can't talk and eat at the same time. You will choke. This is only one way. You try talking and eating and see what happens. People do it, but your parents say don't talk while you're chewing your food. So we communicated non-verbally, okay? Because wars happened, stuff happened, DNA got messed up. We started, towers got knocked down, okay? Our communication towers are pyramids, okay? Stuff is under the ocean, right? We lost our ability to communicate like that. It wasn't as powerful, okay? So we started communicating with this. The first sound we ever made was ah. The first vowel sound was ah, okay? And then there are other sounds that came after that, right? That's why the first sound that a baby makes, ma, pa, da, ba, ah, everything is ah, 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 right? Some of you are like, ah, okay? So the other thing is that, so communicating up here, and I teach my students, when we're meditating and stuff, we want to do it up here, communicate up here. You don't have to do verbally. It actually, like dumbs it down. It brings it down. And then we use this language, this is even worse. Plus Spirit Team is like, this language is like the worst. It's really difficult, okay? So when you're vibrating high, you're more in this space. I be having like, oh my gosh, I can't tell you the amount of people like on my team. And I'm like, didn't I tell you that? And they're like, no. And I'm like, I feel like I had a conversation with you, but I didn't. Like I feel like I'm telepathically communicating with them, but I never verbally told them. the higher you are vibrating, the more telepathy you are using. Okay? The lower you are vibrating, the more of this you're using. That, you ever heard people like that just be talking, talking, talking? You talk a lot of and you ain't saying nothing. Like, what are you saying? Because they're more here than they are here. Okay? So follow me. A lot of these children know this. I said they're ancient ones. They're not like grandparents and great grandparents. They are like from thousands of years ago that came back. They came back here to do some work. The ones who are like 5 to 12, they came back here to help you. That's why they bossy. That's why they be checking, putting you in check. The younger ones, they're not about that life. They already know this place is like, this place is a hot mess. They don't want to communicate this way. Okay? And they're pressuring you, especially as parents, for you to communicate like this with them. So I'm telling you now, because it's going to happen. I'm telling you now, because you're going to see it on the news. You're going to hear about it in the next few years as these children start entering kindergarten, that the rate of children with speech delay, that's on the autism spectrum, is at an all-time high. And that these kids have mental da-da-da-da-da, and they're going to want to put them on drugs. Do not do it. They are ancient beings. They came here to raise the vibration of this place to help us get out. Okay? Now, I'm not saying don't do that thing. Well, are you saying that they shouldn't get help? I'm not saying that. I didn't say that at all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you need to know your child. Know your child. Let me give you an example. I have a daughter that literally, her spiritual gifts is like, she literally at 4 months pregnant was like, I'm out of here. At 4 months pregnant, she tried to leave. At 4 months pregnant, I went to the hospital and I was told I was having a miscarriage. They did an ultrasound and they saw the blood around the uterine. They saw the, what is it, uterus and the placenta, blood around the placenta wall. And they said the placenta was coming off was separating from the uterus. And they said to me, we can schedule a DNC. I was talking about this with her last Friday. We can schedule a DNC, which is basically like they're sucking the baby out, or you can wait to have the miscarriage naturally. And I was like, oh my God, I'll just wait and go home and have it. 2 weeks later, I'm like, well, I'm not bleeding. Nothing's happening. Went back to the hospital. This is a real story, y'all. I went back to the hospital and I said, I'm supposed to have a miscarriage, but nothing's happening. Different doctor did the ultrasound. He was like, what are you talking about? I said, there's bleeding around the da-da-da-da-da. I'm telling him the whole thing. He was like, what? So he's like, wait a minute. So he goes and reads the previous, the notes from the previous sonogram. And he was like, let me do this again. He's like, I don't see what they saw. He's like, maybe there was a mistake. He went and ordered the film. Me and my husband was looking at each other like, what is going on? He went and ordered the film and was like, I don't understand. There was bleeding, but now, like, I don't understand. He was like, your baby is fine. And I was just like, what? That week, I got her name. That week, this is who Zoe Essentials is named after. That week, I got her name, Nyla Zoe, the one who succeeds at life. Zoe means life. So what I found out later on is that she came to this realm and was like, nah, I'm not doing this, and tried to go back. And she was sent back because she had to be here. Because if she wasn't here, we wouldn't be online. None of this would exist. Do you understand? So I knew she was powerful. Multiple times, we were in and out the hospital multiple times with her. Multiple times they try to admit her and do all kinds of stuff. And multiple times, her pediatrician said, if anything happens to her, call me first, because they have you, the state has you like marked. Like if you go to the hospital again, if you call 911 again, they may take your child from you. So fast forward to school. She was in third grade. Third grade is the worst for children. It is the worst. They just learned how to read in second grade. Now they have to take these comprehension exams. It doesn't make sense. Third grade is also the grade that they give these tests that are not mandatory, that are sanctioned by the prisons to see how many kids in 10 years are going to be going to the prison system. Real talk. Okay, this is a real thing. So now, mind you, my daughter, if you ask her a question, she would literally do this. I would say, Nyla, wear your shoes, and she would do, my shoes are. And I'm like, Nyla, wear your shoes. In front of my bed, next to the orange bag. It would take her a while to like answer, so she was always like delayed in her responses, right? And I didn't understand. When the teacher contacted me and said they sent letters home and I was ignoring it. They said they want to test her because they believe she's remedial, because she's not doing good in the comprehension exams, because every week they're like testing the kids to practice the tests that they have to take every year to pass in order for school to get funding, right? Okay. So I was like, my daughter's not remedial. Like I know how brilliant she is. I know that she responds slowly. So what are you saying? Like she's slow? So she was like, well, they want to test her because she may need an IEP. And I was like, nah, I'm not going down that route. Because when you sign an IEP, you sign a lot of rights away to your child. I'm telling you, be careful if you have to sign an IEP, individualized educational plan. Read it first. It's like 100 pages. Read it, because you may be signing rights away to your child. They have the right to medicate your child, and if you refuse the medication, they can kick your child out of school. So I'm trying to prepare some of y'all for this. So I was like, I already knew about the IEP because I was already involved in the educational system. So I was like, oh no, we're not doing that. So I was like, so her teacher, who's an angel, was like, I don't understand, because her notebooks, she takes notes, they're perfect. She gets all A's on everything. She just can't pass the exam fast enough. So it's like, let's say there's 20 questions, she only does 2, and they're thinking that she's cognitively delayed. So here I am advocating for my daughter, like, she's not being tested to be remedial. She's not remedial. She just processes a little slower than other people. But every time she gives you an answer, it's always going to be right. She's also a Virgo. Virgo Sun, Virgo Moon, Virgo Mercury, Virgo Venus. Okay? So she's processing everything in her mind. She's analyzing everything. I had to know that. So I'm being so grateful. She had a teacher who was like, let me teach you this method of answering the test questions. So she taught her method to answer the test questions. My daughter, when it came, I think the tests were called SOLs. I forgot what they were called. And at the end of the year, she took the test. She scored perfect on the test. So much so that the state sent a letter saying that we believe your daughter cheated, because there's no way she could have gotten a perfect score. In the whole state of Virginia, she got a perfect score. And her teacher said, there's no way that she cheated. Number one, there's cameras everywhere, but they thought she cheated. Now, mind you, earlier that year, they wanted to test her for being remedial. This is what I'm saying to you all. You need to stop ignoring your children. Stop putting them in front of the iPads because you're too busy to do you understand? Communicate with them, talk to them, get to know them, advocate for them. So there's going to be tens of thousands of young ones who are going to enter the school system who are going to be told that they're remedial, that they need an IEP. And you know your child fully understands. They just don't want to communicate because it's dumbing themselves down. And they know that. So when I so on uh Friday, Zoe Essentials did a live. Okay. And in the Aquarius pouch, there is a crystal. It's called Blue Apatite, Apatite. Blue Apatite is something that I've been recommending to in any parent that child has autism on the spectrum, have any speech impediment, even for adults. Okay, I say get a piece of Blue Apatite, get a chain for your child to have around their neck. Okay, supervised. Remember the little girl I was telling you about, the student I had who had the baby with the doesn't speak at her age level? She has Blue Apatite chain. She's had it for maybe a couple of years now. She will not take her chain off. Like, she wants to bathe with it. She will not take it off because she understands what it's doing for her. Blue Apatite helps with the throat chakra. I knew that much. On Friday, my daughter, I was like, why is Blue Apatite in the Aquarius bundle? So I'm listening to her on the live explain it, and she said, Blue Apatite is also a third eye chakra crystal. And so I'm looking at her like, it is? And I was like, Blue Apatite, listen, it's a third eye chakra crystal, but it's also a throat chakra crystal. So now I understood why the little girl, thank you so much for the donation. Now I understood why the little girl loved wearing the chain, because she was able to communicate. However, she was able, there was a balance, excuse me, between this communication and this communication. Okay. It allowed her to flow. It allowed her to communicate clearly when she needed to communicate clearly without being stressed. Because here's the other part of it. Here's what's gonna happen. These children who, again, these are ancient souls. Something a little different about this particular child, okay? Don't be quick to be like, oh, they're mentally, disabled. I'm, t- I'm, t- I'm telling y'all, that's not the case. Um, I lost my train of thought. What I was saying, I forgot what I was saying. Um, I forgot what I was saying, y'all. Ancient souls could be any age, but a whole lot of them came in around 2017, like 2015, 2017. There was like a upheaval energetically, and a lot of them came up. But it's more mainly the ones I'm speaking of are 2017 and up. But that's not a cutoff time. Like, I want you to understand, it's not like a cutoff time. 2017 was a 1 year. Okay, so if your child's born in 2016 and they're displaying this, then that's okay. I was talking about Blue Apatite, third eye, and throat chakra, but I was like on my way to say something else. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Um, right. So the Blue Apatite helps with communication. Okay, I forgot what I was gonna say. So the other thing that so I want you to be advocates for your children. Don't be totally, don't do this like nothing's wrong with my child. Um, oh, cognitive. So it's not that your child is mentally disabled, like it's a mental disability. They're highly gifted. Some of the most highly gifted beings, like on that ever lived on this planet, were the ones that we know their names. Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. So, sorry, I was reading a comment. Let me get back to what I was thinking. What I was about to say. Give me a second, y'all. Yes, they're highly gifted children. That's what I was saying. Oh, the other thing. So I don't want you to be totally ignorant and say, my child's not mentally disabled, y'all just got to deal with it, or I'm pulling them out of school or whatever. You need to teach them another way to communicate that is okay for them. So one of the ways, when I first started teaching, I was teaching, I taught like every level I can believe, but I initially started teaching like kindergarten, pre-K, which I saw these little children. These are the children that were born like in 96, 97, 96, 97. So I'm like, all these geniuses, and I get to mold their brain. I was teaching 3 and 4 year olds how to read. Most of my kids that I taught ended up being in the gifted programs in their school because they were reading so early. Because, like, why not? These kids are they're geniuses. They were bad. They would be considered bad because they were busy, because they needed to be challenged, right? One of the things that I did is I taught them sign language. This is important because, again, for any child, you're going into a place where they're speaking a language you don't understand. Parents are not saying it's lunchtime. They just know that certain time of day that it's time to eat, right? They don't know about bells. Those bells in the school are disturbing to their systems, okay? So I taught children sign language, right? I taught them little things, right? Like eat, right? There's little things you can teach them, okay? Eat, go to the bathroom. You can, when you're speaking, use numbers. 2, I like, okay? My name is. You can do certain things when you're saying things. You can point, okay? Find out some basic sign language and do that, because that's the way of them feeling comfortable in communication. Because here's the other thing: if they can't communicate when they're in school, imagine you wanting to say something and you can't say it. You know how frustrating that is. I remember when I first went to Mexico and I was in school. I don't know what I was thinking. Went to University of Guadalajara to study. So hyped up about it. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. The first day of class, everyone stood up and did the Pledge of Allegiance and sang the national anthem of Mexico. And I was like, hold up. Is this class all in Spanish? Now, mind you, I'm from the Bronx, so I know Cuban Spanish, Puerto Rican Spanish, Dominican Spanish. It is not the same as Mexican Spanish. We say que hora es, which means what time is it? Not que hora son. Like, what the heck is que hora son? I didn't understand Mexican Spanish. It was very difficult for me, okay? So now I'm in a classroom and they're speaking Mexican Spanish. And then when I went to speak, they were laughing at me and would say, that's not Spanish, because they speak more proper Spanish than we would speak, okay? So I remember crying, and I lived with the lady, and I remember crying, and she didn't know how to speak English. And like, I didn't know how to speak Mexican Spanish, and all she was saying is, no lloras, no lloras, like, don't cry, don't cry. And I'm like, I can't, I have to live here. I have to take the bus. I have to find my way around, and nobody speaks English. It was in Mexico City. It was Guadalajara, okay? It wasn't like, it was like the conservative part of Mexico, big city, very conservative, business-like. I cried because I couldn't communicate. I was frustrated. I wanted to leave, but I couldn't leave because I paid for the classes and I had to do this research. I was like stuck. And I was a whole like 20 years old, 19, 20 years old. So imagine your child in school and they can't communicate. You know what's going to happen? All of the kindergarten teachers, like, God bless y'all. Because the most temper tantrums and acting outs and kicking and throwing because they can't communicate is not enough teachers that are trained to help this massive amount of children that are going to enter the school system in the next few years. And so I'm telling you now, teach them how to communicate the best way you can. There's an app that I've been using for 20 years. It was a website, now it's an app form. It's called Star Fall ABC. This is how I taught my children how to read, nieces, nephews, whoever I got my hands on, I taught them how to read at young ages using this app. You have young ones, download the app. If you're a teacher, get the app, Star for ABCs. There is a section or there where they teach the sign language. A, B, C, they teach the whole sign language, and they teach little phrases. Learn how to, again, start communicating with your children. They don't want to speak English. They don't want to speak this language, okay? Maybe learn another language, all right? Maybe they resonate with that more. I don't know. I'm just telling you, this is something that's going to be happening. Be easy. They chose you as their parents because you have this information. They chose you because you know how to help them. Okay? But remember that they are powerful. They are powerful. Tap into their power. You can communicate with them. You can ask them stuff about, other universes, about whatever. The other thing is, do not give them dairy. They don't tolerate it well. Just because you like mac and cheese and it's good, don't start them on that. And don't give them that processed nastiness either. First of all, they don't like that. That diet cheese and stuff. Like, why is there 50 ingredients in that? Don't give them that either. Just don't give it to them. That mucus is bad for them. If they don't want to eat certain meats, don't force it on them. Don't give them processed stuff. They don't want it anyway. You know what they want? Fruit. You cut up an orange, children eat them oranges up, and not those GMO ones. What are they called? I forgot what they call those GMO little tiny oranges with the no seeds and they're bright orange. Not those. Sweeties or something. Cuties. Don't give them the cuties. Okay? I told y'all, go find the Asian market, the Caribbean market. Go get your fruit from there cheap anyway. Okay? They like that. They like the mangoes. They like the bananas. You know? You can, I used to make this for my daughters. Get an apple. You can get like this apple core. Get the core out of the apple. You can put it like in a cupcake holder, put the apple in there, and put cinnamon and raisins in the middle, and just let it cook. You can put some foil around it, let it cook, or parchment paper, let it cook. And then don't let it cook till it's mushy. Just let it heat up like 20 minutes. And then it's like a soft apple, and it has cinnamon and raisins on it. You can put a little honey on it. Like, my kids used to tear that up. Okay, kids love fruit. Give them fruit. Give them watermelon. Okay? Make sure they have the nutrients that they need. You can give them teas, okay? But stop giving them the dairy. They're not tolerating it well. Because they have the runs right after that, okay? Okay. Now, we talked about the young ones. I hope that, you were able to get some good information. I hope that resonated with some of you. And again, you're going to hear about it. I'm telling y'all, advocate for your children. There are parent groups all over the place that will to help you, support you. And don't do this thing, well, it's because they're vaccinated, because it has nothing to do with vaccinated and non-vaccinated, okay? Number one, don't pump all that stuff in y'all kids. Like, I have my vaccination sheet when I was a little girl, and it was like 3 things. Why is it like 10, 20 vaccination for kids? Like, why you have to take 3, 4 chickenpox shots? What the heck? What is the problem? I don't understand. Like, I'm not doing that. Don't give your kids that shot that they want them to take in middle school to prevent, was it HPV? Whatever the shot is, don't do that. Don't give them that. Do not let your kids take that shot. You can go online. You can get an exemption letter that says, my child is being exempted for this for religious purposes, and you don't have to identify your religion. But stop pumping your kids up with all that stuff. You don't have to do it. Stop letting the doctor say, well, you already did 1 shot, you got to do the other 2. No, you don't. Okay? This has nothing to do with the vaccines at all. Okay? So it's not, well, this child is like that because, so let me say this. There is a connection with children and autism and vaccines, but there's also a connection with children and autism. Have you heard about it? And Tylenol. Tylenol. There's a whole lawsuit because they're tying Tylenol that doctors say pregnant women can take with autism. Really? So be mindful of what you're giving your children, okay? Be mindful of it. I'm telling you, if you are pregnant, about to have a baby, you better have an advocate with there. You better have somebody with you. Find a midwife. Some of y'all are supposed to be doulas and midwives, and you're scared. You don't know how to do it, when to do it. I need to find the right school. Just start. Google it. Google something. Watch some videos. There are real, I know there are doulas and midwives that don't promote themselves because they don't want to be targets. They will be more than happy to have an apprentice. Find one and go be an apprentice. Our grandparents and great grandparents, we couldn't go to the hospitals. You know who was helping push the babies out, helping pull the babies out? The big mamas of the community, and they have not one certificate or nothing. Start training. Okay? Stop hiding. Stop. I told y'all, get on y'all work. If you know you're supposed to do that, start doing it. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? There's somebody that's in 2 years going to have a baby and waiting for you, and you waiting for the right program to pop up. It's not going to pop up. You got to go after it. I told you earlier, yes, we set our intentions for stuff to be manifested, but we have to take action too. This is the work that we have to do. We're not here to just chill and live the good life. You know you're not here to chill and live the good life. Not here, not on this planet. Oh my gosh. As spiritual beings, we're here to do work. Okay? We can live the good life as long as you're doing your work. All right? I don't know why I sidetracked. That was for someone. Whoever that was for, get on it. Okay? Get on it. But yeah, you need support. You need an advocate. Through your whole pregnancy, you don't just trust, nothing against the OBGYNs, but when I had an OBGYN literally tell me that he prefers doing cesareans because he can schedule them out, I was like, oh, hell no. Are you for real? And then when I saw how much a cesarean cost versus natural birth, so natural birth was like at the time $4,000 and a cesarean was $10,000. Oh, well, duh. So, yes, there's a connection with the vaccines and the autism, but I'm also telling you that even the children who are not vaccinated are going to be on the spectrum. And they call it a spectrum because it's too many things. They can't say is this or that. They don't know. They don't know what it is. So they say they're on the spectrum. They're on the spectrum. Okay. Now let's talk about this, because I know that I naturally have a high IQ. Naturally, I have a high IQ. But I know that I also have a speech impediment, right? And I also know that, like, I'm the person when I walk down the stairs, like, I have to walk down slowly because I broke my knee twice. Like, when I say broke my knee, I mean, like, my leg went one way, my knee went the other way on stairs, falling downstairs. Because sometimes I'm really not here. Okay, I walk into walls. I be tripping on stuff. I don't like wearing heels because who's gonna catch me if I fall? Like, I may fall. Okay, I'm very cautious when I walk. I'm very, very particular. So I knew that there was a thing with me with that, right? I also knew that I didn't like going to the mall because I would get very stressed. I didn't know what an empath was. This was like 10, 15 years ago. I didn't know what an empath was. I had no idea. I just knew that I was just awkward, you know? I was always like the awkward one in the group, and I would try my best to be normal. I would try my best to be normal, I swear. Whatever that was. Try my best to be normal or cool, but I always felt like I was like the awkward one in the group. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I felt like everyone knew that I was the awkward one in the group, right? So I call myself taking a test. And this is the person that texted me last night. I was like, I gave them an affirmative answer. I call myself taking a test. So this was, what year is this? This might have been 15 years ago. It was like a test in a magazine, right? And the test was like, are you like autistic or something, or ADHD something? I failed. I was autistic and I was like everything. You hear me? I was like the worst because I failed everything on a test. I was like, well, what's wrong with me? And then I was like, wow. I remember calling a friend. I was like, you know what? I'm autistic. It's like something's wrong. I'm autistic, because like it literally said, thank you so much for your donation. It literally said that there was one question that said, if there's a topic, if you learn about the topic, you can focus on it like with laser precision, and you focus really heavy on it, and like you're just like whatever it is towards this topic. And I was just like, oh my gosh, that's me. If you don't like to be in crowds, you feel like anxious when you're in crowds, or if you like to sleep like I sleep with like, I have to sleep like pillows, like in my, between my legs, under my, like my hand is under a pillow, you know? Like I have 4 pillows on my bed strategically placed, okay? Then you're on the spectrum. I was like, oh shit, you know, like, excuse my language. I was like, so I just have this huge mental disability. At the same time, like I'm a whole college professor, but I'm saying that to say this. I'm saying that to say this. I got all the questions wrong, y'all. Okay. I think I cried after it. I think I cried. And I was like, what's wrong with me? Like, what the hell is wrong with me? Right? Like I can't, I was like, was it non-functioning something? Like, this is before social anxiety was a thing, but I was like a low functioning something, high functioning something, right? So, had a whole breakdown about it. I was like, well, F it. Like, I made it this far. Here's what I realized. I have met a lot of spiritual geniuses, powerful, powerful spiritual geniuses. And we are all clumsy as hell. We all like falling, tripping, breaking something. Like the most introverted introvert, until it comes time for you to do your spiritual work or talk about a spiritual topic. I be telling y'all think that I'm extroverted because y'all hear me come on live and talk and I'm on camera. No. People used to call me mellow for a reason, because I will be at a party in the corner quiet the whole time. I'll be observing everything, but I'm not going to be in the middle of that. I'm not going to do that. People call me stush. She never talks. Stush means like stuck up, because she doesn't talk, because I'm nervous as hell. I don't want to talk. I have anxiety. It's too many people around. Do you not understand that? I didn't know what that was back then. But now let's talk about some number synchronicities or some spiritual stuff or the planets or something. Or let me be in my soul mission teaching, and I can talk for hours. And then I go back to not talking. My house is quiet. My house is quiet all the time, unless I'm talking to one of my daughters, because I like quiet. I don't have a TV at all because it's too much stimulation. What I realize is that a lot of spiritual beings are the same way. We're just going to be clumsy together. We're just going to be aloof together. We're just going to be like introverted all together. But when we're together, now we're extrovert. And it's funny watching. It's funny watching another spiritual being in a space behaving like you behave in a space with a lot of people. And you like, I see you see me, I see you. Okay? I'm saying that to say that if someone texts me and asks, they were pretty sure that they're autistic, right? I was like, you probably are. Here's why. Here's why. Because we're not fully here. We're not fully here. This dimension, this place that we are in right now, where we're communicating via YouTube, very heavy energy. We're here to do work. This is not our home. When we go to sleep, we travel to other places to do whatever we're doing there. And then we come back here because this is the heaviest space. Okay, this is where we have a lot of work to get done. So because we're not really here, we're not really invested in this place, which I told you, don't be fully invested into this construct. Like, be careful of that. Okay? Because we're not fully here, we're like in the in-between place. We are geniuses. So many of you are geniuses, and you think it's weird. I can't tell you how many people have said, do you think it's weird that this happens to me? Or do you think it's weird that I think that? And I'm like, heck no. Share it with me. Teach me something. Let's be weird together. You know, let's really explore this. Do you think someone DM'd me and was like, they could hear the stars? Do you think that's weird? And I was like, that's dope as hell. It would probably disturb me at night trying to sleep, but that's dope. That's powerful. That's a gift that you have. Okay? So, am I saying that spiritual beings are autistic? I don't know. The test said I was, okay? According to the test and some of the behaviors, being highly sensitive, okay, to touch, right? That's the autistic behavior. You don't want to see people touching you. Let me tell you, you do not put your hands on me at all. I don't like people touching me. I don't want to touch people. Before COVID, I wasn't trying to shake people's hands. I may dap you up. I may do that. But if you touch me, there's problems. Like, don't think that you feel comfortable to put your hands on me, because that is me being protective of my energy, because I know that I'm going to absorb something that I don't know who you are. Okay? So, again, if your child is on the spectrum, get as much help as you can get. But make sure you're advocating for your child. Make sure your child is eating the right things. A lot of these processed food have dyes in it that damage the brain, that causes autism. There was something just released that red dye number, I don't know, yellow dye number something. It's like several of them causes autism. You know what yellow dye is in? All the Cheetos products that parents give their children. You give your children the Cheetos, or those little puff things. Those little puff things you give those Gerber puffs that have that yellow dye in it. Be mindful of what you're feeding your children. Can these things be reversed? It's not about it being reversed. It's about getting your child to vibrate at a high enough space. Now, there are some cases where the symptoms have lessened because parents started giving their children herbs, or they started wearing certain crystals, or started giving them certain baths. There's certain baths that you can give your child that will help to detox them, keep them vibrating at a high enough space so that they're not outwardly displaying a lot of these symptoms, or these outbursts, or just certain physical things that are causing challenges, right, in the educational space. Okay. Okay, so I hope that answers some questions. I hope that I was able to shed some light on some things. This is something that I felt really passionate to share. If you have children, listen. Number one, I'm gonna say this again. You have children, turn your Wi-Fi's off at night. Last night, I think at 3 o'clock, I woke up, texted like 1 something. She's a Gemini. Oh my gosh. So she was literally rearranging her whole bedroom at 1 o'clock in the morning because that's what she does. She was rearranging her bedroom because she wanted her headboard to face north. Her headboard was facing east. So she rearranged her whole bedroom. The flow wasn't right in the bedroom, so she took some stuff out. 1 o'clock. Again, I was in and out traveling. So I texted her and I was like, turn the Wi-Fi off. I feel the radiation. She was like, what, mommy? So I felt it because I literally wanted to lay on the ground. I felt myself wanting to ground myself, lay on the ground. So I went to lay on my bedroom floor because as I'm waking up from my sleep, I'm thinking that's the ground. So turn your Wi-Fi's off at night. I have a switch. I just turn the switch off. You don't need it at night. Go to sleep, okay? Especially if you have children, turn it off at night, okay? If they're on their devices, please get them Elite Shungite. Oh my gosh. When your phones now come, the phones always came with warnings, but now when the warning is easy to find and it says your phone should not be within 6 feet of you, your devices should not be within 6 feet of you because it causes free radical damage, it's damaging your cells, and they're telling you that. The Elite Shungite literally, it absorbs the you're still gonna get the waves from the Wi-Fi. That's how you stay connected, but it's gonna absorb what is damaging to your body. Okay? I see the kids with the what do you call it? The AirPods. I think I yelled at my daughter last week because she had her AirPods on and she didn't have her Shungite. I don't like the AirPods, but if you're gonna wear them, you have to have the Shungite on your body. Absorb that. Okay? So please make sure that your children are protected, okay? That's it. That's it. I think I said enough. I think that's said enough. I will take a couple of questions and then I'm going to go to bed because I'm exhausted and my legs hurt. um, Cartlet, you can email me. Yeah, stop sleeping with your phone. I have a Shungite. I put my phone on like put your phone in airplane mode, number one, before you go to bed, and turn your Wi-Fi off, okay? Um, and I have like a piece of Shungite next to my nightstand, or you can use selenite and put the phone on there, for bed. I can literally feel it if my phone's not in airplane mode and I wake up with the headache. Okay, the blue appetite, um, so check back in the next hour. If it's sold out, check back in the next hour. I'll just check with the if you're looking for the blue appetite chains, if those are sold out, just check back in the next hour. With those we specially make. So what I'll do is I will have those sent to our copper artisan and have her make some. So check back in once we get off, check back in the next hour, okay? But they're also in the Aquarius bundled Aquarius crystal pouch. So if you order an Aquarius crystal pouch, you'll get the blue appetite. Any detox for those who have jabbed their kids? Are you talking about with the COVID, or are you talking about regular vaccines? That's two different things because the COVID is not a vaccine. But so there's two different things that I can tell you for that. So can you wear both the Constant Queen? You said, can you wear both the Elite Shungite and selenite wrapped copper at the same time? I do. I just don't have it on tonight because I was rushing. But I wear both of them like all the time. You may see videos where I have both of them on. Okay. Where can I get a real Elite Shungite? ZoeEssentials.com. Our stuff comes direct from Russia. We still have some in stock that are direct from Russia. I can't talk about other stuff. I have a video on our Instagram page that shows real and fake shungite, and I've been seeing this for a while. You can see a lot of fake ones out there. Let me tell you, I told y'all this last year. The U.S. started experimenting with shungite recently. Right after the war, they started experimenting with it really. And I said the price of shungite is going to shoot up. They're going to see how powerful it is, how beneficial it is, how healing it is. And then it's going to be like moldavite, okay? Which it is actually more powerful than moldavite. Elite shungite is 98 to 99% carbon. So it's really good for carbon-based people. um, for children, yeah, baking soda is really good for children. Let me see. I want to say something. For children, baking soda. Yeah, you don't want to do the most for children, but baking is really good. The name of the app is called Star Fall ABCs. When we're done, I'm going to put all this information below in the description. So I'll put all the links below in the description so that you guys don't have to do the most searching. You can just click on the link and you can you'll get there. Does wearing copper protect you from the radiation? Absolutely. I have a video that I did with a testimonial video back in 2020 with the guy who had a bullet. He was shot in the head and he had shards of shards of the bullets in his head. And he was in so much pain that he wanted to unalive himself. He felt like he couldn't live with the pain anymore. And he didn't understand why it was so much pain. And so his cousin called me and I was like, put some copper on. I said they had just activated the 5G towers, and I said the 5G towers are probably causing those shards to move in his head. I said put some copper. So he didn't have copper jewelry. So he literally said he has some pots in his basement. He started opening up all the pipes in his house, the air conditioning ducts. And he put a pot on his head. He wrapped his arms with the copper wire and the AC units, and the pain stopped because it blocked the radiation. So that video, I did that video in 2020. You can hear his whole story. And this was after years of him going to doctors and everything, and it helped him so much that those shards, the bullet shards, started coming out of his skin, like out of his face. They started like leaving his body, so he was pulling like out of his face like shards of the bullets. That's how powerful copper is. If I remember, I will add it to this underneath in the description. Oh shoot, hold on out. Oh, drop my water. Do you have a guide for your teas and stones? If you order, so if you go to zoeessentials.com, if you click on a tea, if you click on a herb, if you click on a tea, if you click on a crystal, we give you the most information. We even give you links for you to do your own research. So we will give you a peer-reviewed study. Like here, you can study some more about this here, okay? Because I'm not just selling stuff. Like I'm really trying to educate you because I want you to vibrate high. I want you to be healed. I want you to heal other people. I want this truth to be spread, okay? At the risk of just a lot. I'm not going to talk about a lot of the stuff that I've had to fight. There's a lot of fights. There's a lot of fights that I had to fight to have Zoe Essentials up and running the way that it is. Blue appetite for the, I'm telling you, that's what I received a couple years ago because this student of mine with the baby, because she was so like, she believed me. She was like, whatever you say, like I'm listening to you because you were on point, on target, you know, with her daughter. I told her, this is what is going to happen with your daughter. All the stuff I said, it actually happened. So I told her blue appetite. She was like, say less. She got the blue appetite. The baby will not take it off. You hear me? She will not take that blue appetite off. Okay? So there's other things you can use, but specifically for what I was talking about, that's it. Can you put the shungite in your chlorophyll water? I wouldn't. You don't. No, I wouldn't do that. That's okay. So put the shungite in your water, and then add chlorophyll to it. You know what I'm saying? So like I have a glass pitcher in my fridge because my daughter loves cold water, and I have like shungite in it, rose quartz and clear quartz. My other daughter will take that water, pour it into her glass or whatever, and add chlorophyll to it. Okay. Okay, I'll answer questions about what I was talking about tonight. Give me a second. No, Melissa, Zoe Essentials we stopped selling CMOS because people have been overusing it. And there's been a lot of people that are getting really sick by the overuse of the wrong type of CMOS. I'm not trying to get into that tonight. Irish moss is not what people are using. Let's just say that. There was I'm not trying to get into that tonight. We don't sell anymore. I talked about it in another video. Is not something that should be taken every day. There was some wrong information shared on that. I will answer questions about what I spoke about tonight because you guys have all sorts of questions that not tonight, y'all. I told y'all I just came from the gym. Yes, I put shungite. I have shungite, selenite under my I have stuff under my bed, crystals under my bed, under my pillows. Last night I slept with my malachite. Okay. The inner circle is still open. There are literally, I think, 10 spots left if you want to get in. If you have questions, info@spiritualau.com, but there are 10 spots left. You have until February 8th 10 spots. If they get filled before February 8th, it's closed. And you have until February 8th to get in. LCMM, you said my niece has a terrible cough. They told her she had a rev a few months ago. Oh, you mean RSV a few months ago? I tried a few things. Any ideas on what I could? Y'all remember when I was talking about this? Yeah, you remember when I was talking about this? Zoe Essentials has, oh my gosh. Go on the website. There's a box called what is it called? It's called the immunity box, and it has like a picture because we can't say for children, but it has a picture like of a child with like something on it, like, but it's like the immunity box, I think it is. There's also a tea. Oh my gosh, I think it's in the winter wellness section that we put together for breathing. Oh, it's called, what is it called? Oh shoot, I forgot what it's called. Breathe. If you go to zoeessentials.com, type in breathe, and that tea is in there. And it's a mixture that I made one night in a live, and it just opened me up. So I don't know how old your niece is, but I would say for the children, get that immunity box. I forgot what it's called. And I forgot what it's called. If someone knows, thank you, Danny. Danny put the link below. Oh my gosh. How do you clean shungite? So it's on our, if you go to Zoe Essentials for Undelete Shungite, we actually have a certificate of authentication that shows that shungite is legit. And then I believe that there is information on how to clean it. If you cannot find that information on the website, send us an email, info@zoeessentials.com, and we will send you information on how to clean it. There's a specific way that you clean shungite. You don't just rinse it in water. There's an acidic process that has to take place. So you can email info@zoeessentials.com. It may be on the website though, on how to clean shungite. Okay. What's a good grounding herb for us high functioning autistic geniuses? So, tincture. You know what actually works well when you. I do the opposite. It's like I don't. It's like for people that have ADD, the opposite works, right? So you have ADD, which means hyperactivity. You get Ritalin, which is a stimulant. So it's the same thing. If I need to be grounded, I actually will take something high vibrational. So if you guys ever see me like drinking soursop tea on a live, it's because I need to be grounded because I'm just like, whoo, like all like that. So soursop is so high vibrational that it cures cancer, okay? So that's my go-to when I need to be grounded, okay? You just get higher. Okay, let's see. She's 5 years old. Okay, so LCMM, you can send us an email to info@zoeessentials.com and we can send you the links of those products because I don't remember the names of them. I wish my daughter was on there. Okay, immunity defense. Thank you, Isla. It's called immunity defense. That's what it's called. So go to zoeessentials.com, get the immunity defense. This is something that I've been using on my children for years. My children are sick more than 24 hours. Like it's a whole thing. So immunity defense kit. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Your baby doesn't like tea. So the immunity defense kit also has an oil. And so we also have oh my gosh. They don't like tea because of how you make it. Let me say that. So there's a tea called hibiscus that's red and you just put like a sweetener in it and children don't know that it's tea, okay? There's also one called butterfly pea flower. We mix that with chamomile. I think that's in that box too. So, yeah, it's in that box. It is immunity defense kit. Butterfly pea flower and chamomile is designed to put them to sleep. Children like how it tastes. It is blue. When you squeeze lemon in it, it turns purple. And so we call it like the magic tea. So kids don't think it's tea, they think it's magic juice and they drink it, okay? So my kids they were not like my oldest daughter is not, she didn't like the herbs, the teas, the ginger, none of that stuff. So she found ways to make these drinks that she, in a way that you would like kids would actually drink them, hot chocolates and all kinds of things. So if you go to our Instagram, shop Zoe Essentials, all those recipes are there and the kids love them and they don't know that it's healthy. They think, oh, I'm having a treat of, hot chocolate. Meanwhile, it's like mad herbs in there. Okay. Or like the juices and the punches and all kind of things that we make. Okay. Thank you, Brandon. You said rose plus hibiscus plus raspberry leaf and agave equals Kool-Aid. Yes. They don't, just don't tell them it's tea. Grounding herbs for children. So we don't really want to ground children's energy if they're vibrating high. If they're overwhelmed, you want to get them like black obsidian, especially if they have to go to school. I would get a black obsidian, put in their backpack. And tell the teacher like this is there and tell your child why this is there. When they come home from school, wash their hands, wash their feet, wash their faces, excuse me. I guess wash their feet too. But they need to release some of that energy, okay? Make sure you oil them up before they go to school as well. All right. Again, I'm gonna include all the links for all of this below this video. I apologize I couldn't put it in before, but we were having some challenges getting on here tonight. Do we have copper bracelets for children? Yes, we do. So if you go under, they're like beaded bracelets, and they are 6 inches for the children. The 6 inch ones, I think they're like $10, and those are for children, not for adults. Some adults be trying to buy, like, this is too small, and it says for children. Or you can just type in the word children, I believe, and then a lot of the items that are for children will pop up. Um, do you know what gifts come with ADHD? I'm not sure, but I always hear it. So it just depends on. So a lot of things are lumped under these names, these categories, because they really don't know what it is. Okay, so if a child is hyperactive, especially in certain communities, it's because the child is not being stimulated. This is why I said, especially with Black boys, moms, you got to be on it. I was in the school system and I fought. I was at the state fighting against these people because this is for real. You have real talk, a little Black boy and a little white boy who are doing the same thing, right? One is being diagnosed with a cognitive disability, and the other one is going to the gifted program. And I was like, this is some bull. Okay. So a lot of times, and this is what I said when I was first started teaching this group of kids, that were born in 1996, 1997, and they were off the chain. They were like, I'll never forget this girl who one of the teachers told her to sit down and be quiet, and she did this. Like that. And I was like, little 4-year-old badass. So I was like, I'm gonna get y'all. So I started teaching them how to read. And so it challenged their brain because nobody else was teaching them how to. They were like, they're 4 years old, they can't learn how to read. I was like, watch. Okay. So a lot of times when someone is displaying that hyperactivity because they're not being challenged. So my first thing is challenge them. Okay. My daughters know they be doing the most. I'm like, oh, you need something. You need something to do. Cause like what's happening right now? So challenge them, okay? So one of the gifts of one of the things with ADHD is that they're very intelligent. Their brain is not being pushed enough. So now they're just like doing the most and can't get settled. Okay. They need something to focus on. If they have something to focus on, something that is in alignment with who they are, they can focus. Because I was diagnosed with that too. I did one of those tests, and it's true. I'll go in my kitchen to get something to eat, but I'm like, oh, let me just drop some laundry in while I'm cooking this. So now I'm dropping the laundry in, like, oh my gosh, let me sweep up this something that's on the floor real quick, and then I'm by the garage, and it's like, oh shoot, I just came downstairs to get something to eat. Why am I now in the garage? Okay. So now, had I been focused, right, on something challenging, for example, my daughter's like, I need to eat at a certain time. So I know I have to make the meal by a certain time. I don't have time to do those other things. Then I tend not to move around a lot. Do you understand? So my thing is focus, something focused that, again, on the spectrum, that you resonate with, and you'll just be in that thing for a long time until you're not. Okay. Do I have any courses for children? Not yet. Not yet. Soon to come. I'm working through a lot of things, y'all, because man, when someone tells me like, oh, I just had a baby or something, or send me pictures of children, I'm like, email Zoe Essentials and tell them I'm sending you a crystal. Like I just love, like, these children are so powerful. Oh, there's something else I wanted to talk about. I forgot. I forgot about this. Oh my gosh, I forgot about this. Listen, this is the other thing. So, trigger warning. This is something that I received a few years ago from because a friend, there was a situation with a miscarriage, okay, and then I received the same information with a child who was aborted, okay. So the miscarried child, I had to tell the mother what the message was from the child. And it was it was a child to her, but it wasn't a child on a spiritual realm. Okay, it was an energetic being. It was like, it wasn't a baby, but for her it was a baby. Okay, and what I received, like it made so much sense. It blew my mind at the same time. And the child said that they were with their mom, right? And that the mom wasn't their mom. The mom was like their sister from another lifetime. Okay. And they were not supposed to be born into this reality, but they had to touch this reality in order to be close to the mother. Okay. I'm flashing out. Sorry. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? There are some ancestors or deities or ancient ones that really forgot what it's like to be here. They forgot what this space is like. They have no idea. And it can be overwhelming, especially those who are communicators, because you're constantly being pulled on and they don't get it. Your spirit team does not care about the time, the date, your feelings, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband. They don't care about none of that. Your job, they don't care about none of that. They care about you getting this mission done. Real talk. And they forgot how it is down here. They forgot, like, yo, it is January the 31st. I can do but so much in a day. Okay. So what I received is that this being came to touch down in this dimension, just to be in proximity in this dimension, but not, it was never supposed to exist here. It was never supposed to be alive and grow up here. Okay. Because this reason was because the being was supposed to help the mother slash the sister. So they are part of her spirit team, but they had to be in this reality, so to speak, for a period of time in order to be close to her. Like the closest ones on your spirit team are like your grandparents or your sister, your brother, your aunt, your whatever, because they were just here. So they know what it's like here. So they know what you're going through, right? Somebody from 10,000 years ago forgot. Forget 10,000, 1,000. They forgot. Okay. So this particular woman, which is very difficult, and it was powerful because I didn't meet the child's father, but I was like, I described what he looked like, what she looked like, and she said that that is exactly how the child's father looked. The way I described the girl is how the father looked. And I was like, it was very hard for me to share that message, to get that message through, because it's hard when you have a miscarriage. It's also hard when you have an abortion and you want to talk about it. That's a difficult thing for a woman. It's a very shameful thing, right? For a lot of women, right? So for me to have to give that message, that was very difficult. But when she was like, the way you described her is exactly how the father looks like, and how would you know? And so that just even confirmed to me that information. Okay. So I say that. So we talked about the ones 27 and under. We talked about everybody, right? We talked about the babies that are coming in. We didn't talk about the babies that don't physically make it physically through, that physically don't leave the womb. Do you understand? The ones that make it here but don't fully come through. Also, the other one with the abortion, This, again, this may be triggering, but this is something that I also received, and it made a whole lot of sense. That a lot of parents hold the guilt that, I killed my child. Okay. You don't, yes and no, because as powerful as you think you are, as in control as you think you are, you're really not that in control. Okay. If that being is meant to come here, there's nothing you can do to stop it. There's so many stories I've heard about women who was like, I was on my way to get an abortion, I was in a car accident, or I was on my way to get an abortion and something happened. God said something to me, or something happened and they didn't do it, or I was about to walk in and they shut the place down, right? And then they had to have the baby, and then the baby ended up being somebody important or special, or they're like, oh my gosh, I would have, you know, uh, uh, you know, killed this child, right? So I'm saying that to say, don't put it all on you, because if a child is meant to not be here, the child is not going to be here. So what I'm saying is that if you were prompted to have an abortion, that that is still a soul that is connected to you. You can connect to that soul. Okay? Don't don't hold that as a guilt and a shame within you. It wasn't meant to come through. You get what I'm saying? Whoo. There's some beings that have to come here just to connect to you in that way, just so that they can help you. That I meant to fully be here as a living being. Okay? The chat seems a little quiet. Oh, it's 11:11. Okay. I just wanted to share that as well. So if you've had a miscarriage, it's not a loss. The physical baby, let me watch my words. The physical baby is a loss, but you have it can't be no more powerful than that. You have someone on your spirit team that was in you, lives inside of you. Okay, fathers too. They chose you. It doesn't matter if you had beef with the baby mama or if y'all are married or together. It doesn't matter, none of that. That child said, you, the dad, and you, the mom. That child is here to help you. Connect to that child. Get in a bath. Get in the bathtub. Get in the bathtub. That's the best way to do that. Get in the bathtub. Put some high vibrational herbs in the bathtub. Some salts. Pink Himalayan sea salt is my favorite. Blindfold yourself, put some earplugs in, and do your best to connect to that child or that being, okay? And protect yourself first. You always protect yourself before you do any spiritual work. But put yourself in that bath and have the conversation. And don't do this. Don't be like, oh, that's just me talking. That's just my imagination. Why would you imagine that? Why would you say those things? Okay? It's not your imagination. It's not just you. Okay? All right. My pleasure. Okay. Let me see if anyone had any questions about that. I know I started talking about that at 11:11. Okay. This is called Elite Shungite. It's called, I think, Pendant, something like that, right? We don't have any more copper wrapped ones. We have for now, we'll have them in the next couple of months, or the next month, I think. Oh, we'll have it at the end of February. But this is the pendant. Okay, so copper is going to change based on your your own body chemistry. If your body is acidic or alkaline, if your body needs copper or doesn't, if it has enough, is you that's changing the color, but you can clean it. If you get it from Zoe Essentials, we give you these yellow cloths to clean the copper, or as my daughter uses, ketchup and a paper towel. Okay. Okay. I have an 11-year-old son and a 7-year-old daughter. What should I teach them first about spiritual work path? Um, just have a conversation with them. You know what? Have them draw pictures. That's how my daughter, like, she used to draw pictures of stuff and she'd be like, "This is a planet, mommy." And she would be like, "Tell me what's on the planet." And this is a late, like, she would like take them outside, let them look at the stars, talk about the stars, talk about the earth, talk about herbs, talk about the trees, okay? Um, talk about things that are easy for them to understand, right? Talk about high vibration, low vibration, good and bad, right? So I stopped using the language good and bad. I would just say high vibration, low vibration, okay? And just flow with it. You'll know. They'll ask you questions and you answer, okay? Don't force anything, and listen to them. Listen to the questions they're asking you. Listen to the things they're saying, and then you can add to that because they'll tell you what they're ready for. Okay. Is it true that babies cry in despair when they are in the womb because they don't want to come into this reality? Um, I don't know that they're crying because they don't have oxygen. Like their whole passageway is filled with fluid. So maybe not crying, but they do. Like gave you example of my daughter. She was like, "I'm not with this." She was trying to go back. She was trying to go back. You hear me? She was trying to go back. She was trying to go back, and it was like, "No, you got work to do here, girl. So get over it." Um, would you suggest chakra bracelets for children? The different color ones? Absolutely not. I don't suggest those for anyone. Absolutely not. You cannot put certain crystals together. They're pretty, they're cute, but there's no harmony. Okay. Let me see. Okay, I think that was all the questions about what I spoke about. Can a stepfather be an ancestor? No. Your ancestors are only your blood relative, unless he's like a distant cousin. He can be on your spirit team, though. Okay. What face wash do I use? I've been using the same face wash for the last 15 years. African black soap. The the brown one with the black charcoal pieces in it that you got to be careful of. Okay. All right. Oh, yes, Ria has a book. The one who asks about their children. Thank you, Ria. Ria has a book. I'm going to put the link below in the description of I have a Amazon page that has like books and different things. Ria's book is in there, and the book is actually made for children on the 7 universal principles. Thank you for reminding me of that. Okay. Okay. And you can also find it on, yeah, you can Google it on Amazon yourself. It's Ria Welch, right? Ria Welch, Ivy and Kim. Okay. You can email me at thespiritduel@gmail.com. Again, I'm gonna put all the links below once we get off of here. But you guys are just hanging out. It's like 460 of you in the chat room. We just hanging out tonight. That's what we're doing. Do I meditate between 3 to 5 or 3 till 5? No, 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 no. I'm not. I apologize if I was unclear about 3 to 5. I'm not saying to meditate for 2 hours between 3 and 5. If I was unclear, I apologize. I'm saying that's the window of time. So I'm saying meditate, do at least 5 minutes. At least 5 minutes. If it's 2 hours long, it's 2 hours long. I've meditated for days on end, okay? And I've done it in a minute, okay, really quick. But that's because I've done it for so long. But not for 2 hours. Three to five is the window of opportunity, okay? Okay. Thank you. Thank you for asking that question, because if you had it, that means that someone else probably had that same question. So I apologize if I was not clear on that. Shakidra's is if it has been 7 days. So if you book the Soul Mission pre-recording, the day that you send back your information, we count 7 days from that. Okay. So if you booked it, let's say on the 20th, but you didn't respond back to the 22nd with your email, then we would count from the 22nd, 7 days past that. Okay. But I'm going to be sending out quite a few tomorrow. I'm gonna knock them out. It doesn't take 7 days is the max for now. I really there's really a lot. I didn't realize how much there would be, but I'm gonna get them done. They're 30 minutes each, so it takes me about an hour and a half to get through each one. So just depending on when you sent your email back to us, then 7 days from then. Okay. I do have a numerology course in the inner circle. I break it down. What I found is that I wasn't doing, it's really difficult to have courses without being able to answer questions. So what I mean by that is I had a video on number synchronicities, excuse me, but when you can't answer questions live, like if anyone has been in Inner Circle or SDA, and we've done the number synchronicities class, right? That was like one of the longest classes. Like we were on there for hours, because I'm teaching my students how to break down numbers. Like if they see 479, what does that mean? So it's not just some random like, oh, it doesn't mean nothing. No, if you keep seeing 479, it's a whole sentence. So I'm teaching my students how to break that down. There's a full sentence of what 479 means. And so it takes time. So as a teacher, I did not feel good. I'm not going to do anything halfway, okay? So I didn't feel comfortable just having the course and then we can't interact, right? So it is part of the inner circle, and we take our time with that, because I want you to, like, if I pull my students and I'm like, what does 476 mean? They'll be able to say, well, 4 means this, 7 means this, 6 means this, and all this together means this, and this is the sentence. And so Spirit is saying this specific message, okay? Look, Golden Ma'at, there she goes. She said, foundation on spiritual path is transformational. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, Golden Ma'at. She was in the STA. That's what I'm talking about. So that's the level that I teach, right? So any numbers that you see, if you are in Inner Circle or SDA, you should be able to break down any random numbers. It can be 8 numbers. It will take some time, but you'll be able to break it down and understand the message that your spirit team is trying to give to you. Okay, let's see. All right. Star Nayar, you said we love it here. Y'all not sleepy? Oh my gosh. What did you ask? Give me 1 second. 2 people asking a question. If you keep seeing your birth time and day a lot, it's because it really is it is a heart chakra thing. It's a self-worth thing. And your spirit team is trying to say the day you were born is special. You are special. You need to know whatever's happening with you. Again, it's usually connected with the heart chakra, right? Again, a worthiness thing. Whatever's going on with you, your spirit team is just like, we want you to know that the day you were born, we celebrated. Like, you are that special. You are powerful. You are here for a reason. And so they will show you your birth date because of that. Like, they're like, let's do this. We can do this. Like, we got you. Okay. So if you're seeing your birth date, that's what it means. Okay. You said people will stay here all night with you. Mel, what brand vitamins are good for your kids to take? Now, my kids don't take vitamins. The vitamin that they take is called moringa tea. Moringa is the most nutrient dense herb on this planet, on the earth. Okay. So they drink the tea and they get their vitamins, all the vitamins. Okay. But I'm not going to give my children processed vitamins. I don't know what the heck is in there. Okay. How do you make kids drink it? You train them. You train them on drinking it. Or you my go to it, go you on the Instagram page. My daughter has so many recipes that are designed for children and adults who don't want to drink the herbs, drink herbs. There's even like she made a moringa pasta. She made a moringa pesto. So she took like banza pasta, which is chickpea and like two other ingredients. And she took like basil and I think I don't know, like avocado oil. I forgot what the recipe was. And she mashed it in the mortar and pestle with the moringa and put it in there with the pasta. That's the way to get your kids to have the moringa. Okay. Okay, UTI, uva ursi, UVAURSI. It is not fun to drink, but you boil it and you let it sit for a couple of hours and you drink it before bed and you're gonna urinate a lot and then UTI is gone. Like, you don't have to drink the most cranberry. Cranberries help as well, but uva ursi literally will get rid of that UTI. Okay. All right. All right. Moringa powder. Good. No, get the moringa. Get the moringa and blend it. I have seen so many. I know what moringa leaves look like. I know what they're like when they're dried. If you dehydrate a moringa leaf, it's going to be like a army green. I've seen moringa powders that is bright green. Where? How? And then you look at the ingredients and there's other stuff. So don't do that. You can get moringa leaves. You can go to Zoe Essentials and get it. Go to zoeessentials.com, type in moringa, okay? You actually see the whole leaf, okay? Get the leaf, put it in your blender, blend it up yourself, and now you have your own moringa powder, okay? And then you can put it in your smoothies. That's another way to take it. You can put it in your smoothies. Some people blend it and put it in like little capsules. That's a real good way to uh to take moringa. Okay. Okay. All right. I see you guys have the most random questions. Oh my gosh. All right. Okay. Hold on. I'll answer some. The best tea for low iron, Cheney root. Sarsaparilla and Cheney root. But Cheney root is even more powerful. As a matter of fact, get them both and mix it. We also on go to zoeessentials.com. I be knowing what y'all need. I talked about the low iron, I think like a year ago. What I started doing ever since I came back from Jamaica is making it as a tonic. And so we actually have the iron tonic kit on Zoe Essentials that has the Cheney root and the moringa. And I think we added something